I find it fascinating that when I look at the back end of this podcast behind the scenes, of all the many thousands of people who listen to this show every single month, so few of them have actually hit that follow button, and even fewer have ever left us a rating or a review. If you enjoy the podcast and you get value out of it, then I would ask that you do us a solid and just take a small moment to hit that follow button. And if you want to go just one little step further, take a second to rate and review the show. It means nothing to you, but it means everything to me. And you just taking a small amount of your time to support the show is going to allow me to expand the reach of this podcast, bring it to more and more people, and continue to bring you more and more value every single week. So wherever you are right now, just take one moment, tap that follow button, and if you want to go just a little step further, leave us a rating and a review. Thank you so much for listening in and supporting the show. Thank you for being here today, and let's dive in. Hey everybody, welcome to the Conscious Love Show. Whether you are single, you are in a relationship, or you're healing a broken heart, this show is here to inspire you, to remind you how beautiful, lovable, and amazing you truly are, and to give you the practical tools and insights to navigate from wherever you are right now to the loving relationship that you so deeply want to have. My name is Shane Kohler. I'm a certified transformational coach and trainer with over a decade experience helping people release their trauma and open their hearts to love. I've delivered seminars all over the world, coached thousands of people through my online platforms and programs, and every week I'm coming straight to you with the hottest insights and the best teachers around, bringing you powerful resources and profound conversations to heal your relationship with love, dating, and yourself. I'm so grateful you're here, and if it's your first time, welcome. You can count on me to always show up for you with my very best and a commitment to learn and grow myself so I can serve you to my maximum ability. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. I've got some awesome things planned for you today. So without further ado, let's dive in. So Kieran Johar is asking, how do we really tap into that 10% where things evolve from good enough equations? How do we really tap into that 10% where things evolve from equations that are good enough to those that are truly aligned, where our hearts, minds, bodies, and soul feel just right? It's not perfect, but intuitively we know. How do we seek that without coming in our own way? So that's a beautiful question, Kieran. And you said something powerful there that I want to start with. You said it's not perfect. And that's the truth, is it's not perfect. So the relationship externally isn't perfect, and your experience of it internally isn't perfect either. And so I think one of the best ways to describe this is I'll just share a little bit about my relationship with my wife, right? When we first met, I've often shared this, that we almost broke up like 20 times in our first year together, right? It wasn't an easy time. It was tumultuous. And we were long distance, and we would be together, and we would have these amazing connections when we were together. And then we would go to our separate lives, and we would get lost in our separate lives, and we would struggle to connect. And we didn't know where this was going or how long it could last, or, who was going to move where. Like, it was just, there was so much happening. Right. And so I say that to say that today it's wonderful. Like, my relationship with my wife has very few hiccups these days. We're about to have a baby, so we'll see if that changes. But it's pretty smooth. And it's smooth now because of all the work we did to get here. And so what I want to say is, if I go back to where I started with my wife, where we started together, it wasn't about everything felt just right in the relationship or even in myself. I had a lot of concerns. Is this going to work? She had a lot of concerns. Again, we almost broke up 20 times. We would, I can't do this anymore. Then we talk. Well, let's try, you have a visit scheduled. Let's just go through that next visit, see where we are. There was a lot of that. It was very tumultuous. It was scary. So it wasn't perfect externally. It wasn't perfect internally. It was chaotic. It was wild. It was unpredictable. So I just want to break the illusion that it's ever going to feel right and perfect and beautiful. Look, it feels that way now, 8 years in. And again, we're about to have a baby. So, 6 months from now, it might not feel that way. So I want to be clear about that too. But what it really becomes is, who can you make it work with? And if you find someone that the two of you are really good at making it work with each other, then what can start to happen is it can start to get very easy. And again, you'll go through periods of things being very easy, right? And then maybe again, like we have a baby, things aren't so easy for a while. And then we find our rhythm with that, and then things get easy again. Right? We've been through that in the past, right? We've gone through challenging and then smoother periods and then challenging periods. So like that's kind of just the nature of life. But how did it work with my wife as opposed to, I had quite a few other relationships prior to my wife. She had quite a few relationships to me before me. None of those worked. Why did this one work? Well, because no matter how hard it was, we came together, we talked about it, we had authentic, vulnerable communication, we made agreements. Sometimes it was nice, sometimes it was a little ugly, but we stuck through it with each other. Right? Our wounds came up. We shared that with each other. We both got coaching and we worked on things independently. So we worked on ourselves. We worked on the relationship together. Right? So like all of this. So it became about, the reason it worked with my wife and not people prior to that was because my wife was the only person that we could make it work. She's the only person that time and time again, no matter what we were going through, we came together and we worked through it together. So even when it felt like things were going to break, we ultimately pulled through it. I've had relationships in the past that weren't nearly as tumultuous as my relationship with my wife in the beginning. Relationships that were really smooth. We just had a good time. We had fun. It was all great. It was all wonderful. And then we hit a roadblock and we can't work through it. Right. So it's, maybe one of the gifts that my relationship with my wife had was that it was long distance. It was so challenging. It gave us an opportunity to learn to work on stuff with each other early on. And so there's a combination of things here, but it's your willingness to take responsibility for your own experience. Get coaching, get support when you need it so you can bring your best self to the relationship. Talk about things in the relationship, see how this person responds when you do. My wife has often said the reason she knew our marriage could work or our relationship could work is because of how we worked through things together. It's very much of what I'm saying right now. It's not that things were always good. It's that even when they were bad, we were able to get through it together. We were able to show up for each other and show up for the relationship. So we want to let go of this idea that we're going to meet the right person. It's going to feel perfect. It's going to feel wonderful. No. Who can you make it work with? Who is willing to meet you there every single time? Who is willing to continue diving in with you year after year after year after year, even when it's hard? That becomes the question. So I hope that supports you. I just want to stay away from the idea that it's going to be perfect or, like it's a level of like, you don't necessarily intuitively know. You don't intuitively know. The relationship proves itself as the two of you continue to show up for each other, as the two of you continue to throw yourselves into it. So I hope that supports you. Beautiful question. Beautiful question. One other thing I want to say about that real quick is that part of this is really being good with yourself, right? Because if you're not working on yourself, as I mentioned, and if you're not secure enough with yourself to bring things to the relationship when they need to be brought, then you're not going to be able to do what I'm talking about with my wife. So it's not that it should always feel good, but it's that you should be in tune and in touch enough with yourself where intuitively, I need to say something about this. I can't let this slide. And when you bring it to the relationship, how that person responds is going to show you what you need to know. So again, thank you for the question. Beautiful question. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we had just a couple of short questions here. I see Ace Selly, you say, thank you for this talk. You really appreciate the articulation and clarity. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Are narcissists attracted to or afraid of secure people? How do I know if an avoidant is genuinely working on themselves? All right. So I'll quickly answer these two questions and I'm going to wrap up. So first one, are narcissists attracted to or afraid of secure people? A secure person, I mean, I could say a narcissist might be attracted to anyone, but in terms of who they will stay with someone who will enable their game. So, I mean, everybody's individual. They might be attracted to all different kinds of people, but I think what's going to happen for a narcissist is a secure person is going to it's not going to last very long. And I think for people who have been through narcissistic abuse, let me say this. For people who have been through narcissistic abuse, it can be powerful for them to identify, oh, that person was a narcissist. I see how they got inside my head. I see how they manipulated my wounds. I see all of this. It can be very helpful for that. But I think the whole narcissist conversation becomes a little bit destructive when we're dating people and we're like, oh, they're a narcissist, they're a narcissist, they're a narcissist. Because one, we don't really know. And two, it doesn't really matter. You see, when you have the kinds of skills that I'm talking about here, what I just talked about with Kieran, right? I know what I need. I communicate what I need. I ask for what I want. I challenge the relationship when it doesn't show up. I know the qualities that I need to have in a partner. Like, if somebody is truly a narcissist, which isn't that many people really, but if somebody's truly a narcissist, you're going to bring something up and they're going to start gaslighting you and they're going to start twisting your words and they're going to start blaming you for everything and saying how it's all your fault. And you're going to start saying to yourself, I just asked for a really simple need. I just asked for them to text me regularly, and they're going on this whole thing and they're blaming me and they're gaslighting me and they're twisting my words around. And I just asked for something really simple. And so when you get clear with yourself like that, which that's what I mean when I say a secure person, right? Somebody who's clear with themselves like that, it doesn't matter if this person is a narcissist or not. It's just dude, I'm not dealing with all that. I just need someone that I can have a grounded conversation with, someone who can hear me, someone who can validate my needs, someone that we can troubleshoot and problem solve together, someone who can take a certain degree of responsibility. These are just basic things that a narcissist doesn't have. So you really don't have to worry about who's a narcissist and who's not. Again, if you've been through narcissistic abuse and you're looking back and really understanding what happened and how it happened, it can be powerful in that context. But for those of us who are just meeting people and dating, we don't need to identify who all the narcissists are. What we need to do is focus on being secure within ourselves, being connected to our truth and our intuition, communicating about it, being aware of the qualities and the kind of reciprocation we're looking for in a relationship, and the whole narcissist thing will take care of itself. I actually think it's pretty unhealthy to be out there labeling everybody like a narcissist. So thank you for the question. Thank you. I hope that supports you. Last one I want to take. How do you know if an avoidant is genuinely working on themselves? I'm going to almost echo what I said in the previous question, is that it doesn't really matter if someone is working on themselves or not. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it makes a difference, right? Somebody working on themselves makes a difference. But in terms of your perspective of the relationship, it's not like I need to monitor whether or not they're working on themselves and hold them accountable to it. Either they're able to show up to the relationship in the way that I need them to, or they're not. How do you know they're working on themselves? Because things are getting better. Right? If there are challenges in the relationship, well, if the two of you are working on yourselves and you're working on the relationship, then things are getting better. If things aren't getting better, but you're trying to like monitor how much they're working on themselves, like that's not workable. Somebody who is genuinely working on themselves is going to be able to show up for the relationship in increasingly better and better ways. If that's not happening, that's all you need to know. In 8 years I've been with my wife, neither of us have ever had to monitor how much the other person was working on themselves. There have been times where said, maybe you should talk to somebody, maybe you should get a coach or a therapist, right? Certain things we were going through, we discussed maybe that would help. But my wife's not like, did you have your call with your therapist this week? Like, we don't do that to each other. If there's something in the relationship that's showing up that's a problem, we address that thing. And maybe sometimes when we're addressing that thing, we might say, maybe we should talk to a therapist about this, or maybe there's some course of healing that needs to happen here. But it's not like we're policing each other's personal growth. That's a toxic dynamic. So I want to encourage you, how do you know if an avoidant is working on themselves? You don't need to know if they're working on themselves. What you need to know is, are they able to show up in the relationship in the way that you need them to? Stop policing someone else's personal growth and start getting in tune with your own needs, with the things that are really real and true for you. Start communicating about them. Start calling the relationship to that plate and see if it can meet you there. That's the most simple and clear answer I can give. All right, everybody. Great discussion today. We had some wonderful questions come in. Again, sorry about the comments. I really wish they were available. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully by next week they'll be back. I wonder if it's just me or if everyone's having this problem. But anyway, lots of love, lots of blessings. Thank you so much for being on with me today. I'll be back with you next week. This is the Conscious Love Show podcast. Make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Make sure to find us there. Thank you for being with me today. Love and blessings, everybody. I'll see you back here next week. Take care. Bye. Thanks again for checking out the show. Please subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on the most. And I would love it so much if you leave a review and tell people what you think of us. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram @TheLivingRelationship to connect more closely. And I'm grateful to be supporting you on your journey to love.